What is going on, guys? I am back with another video, and this time it's going to be a little bit different than what I usually do. I mean, as you guys know, my channel it's for reviewing action figures, going on toy hunts, but there's something else that I'm a huge collector of, and that's movies and video games. And I wanted to do something, like I said, differently. I wanted to show off, in the spirit of October, I wanted to show some horror movies that I have. Just share with you guys what I have. I was actually going through some of my cases, and I pulled out a few that I forgot I even had. I was looking at them, and I'm like, I don't remember buying this, because it's been years since I bought them, and then I watched them maybe a few times, and then I put them in my just put it in my my movie container. Because, it's really convenient, especially now that we have Netflix, streaming, Kodi, everything. You can find these movies on the internet. So it's just, just a few clicks on the keyboard and you can watch them. But me personally, I like to have the physical copy. I mean, yeah, I have fallen to just streaming it online because it's just so convenient. And with just being busy and everything, it's just a pain to just go through some of these movies and just pull them out and watch them when you can just click it on the computer. But yeah, I usually watch a bunch of horror movies in October. I mean, it's only fitting. I try to watch a horror movie a day. Even though I have a hectic work schedule, I still try to get a horror movie in, as hard as it might be. So this video is going to be a little bit longer than usual because I went through just a bunch of my movies and just pulled out a lot. So expect to get comfortable, get your favorite snack, your favorite drink, because this is going to be I'd say about like a good 30-45 minutes, longer than usual. So, with that being said, let's get on with the first movie. So, for anyone who has not seen this, John Carpenter's Vampires, it's a really badass vampire movie. I mean, it's just the nit and gritty. I mean, just what you would expect from a John Carpenter movie, but with vampires. It stars James Woods. And who is it's one of the Baldwin brothers, Daniel Baldwin. Everyone knows Alec Baldwin. Daniel Baldwin plays in here, and it's a great vampire movie. James Woods, he plays a badass in here. So yeah, check this out. Very underrated. Nobody really talks about it much. So yeah, check this out. Next up is Interview with the Vampire. I consider it a horror movie myself. I mean, it might be debatable whether it is or not. It's vampires, Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt, Anyone who hasn't seen it, pretty much Tom Cruise is a vampire and then bites Brad Pitt and then he becomes a vampire and then, the whole story, it goes like 100 years or something like that. But yeah, decent horror movie. Next up is The Thaw, starring Val Kilmer. Now, this movie, this is one I was talking about. I haven't seen this in a while. I pulled it out and I was like, what the hell is this? But I remember it basically, these parasites, they're like ancient parasites that these explorers found in a woolly mammoth, and these parasites basically get thawed, as the movie says, they get thawed, and then they start infecting people and then killing them. And then Val Kilmer, gets infected, and it kind of reminds me of The Thing, but without the monsters popping out. But this is a pretty good one. I'm probably gonna watch it later. Again, for the 31 days of Halloween, I'm definitely gonna get to this. So yeah, The Thaw. Check it out. Another one is Mimic. And who does play? Josh Brolin. Wow, I did not know he played in here. And then Mira Sorvino. She played in what was that one? It was with that one girl from Friends where they like go on a high school. They go back to their high school reunion. But anyway, yeah, she plays in here. This is pretty good. So basically, these bugs that they can transform into people and basically take their identity after they kill them. But real good scary movie. Underrated. It's a Guillermo del Toro film. So yeah, if you haven't, check it out. Pretty good. Up next is Shocker. Now, this this is kind of funny. So basically, this guy is, he gets executed because he's a convicted killer, and he comes back through like it's been a while since I've seen this, but he comes back and he can like go inside of people and like basically control them. And not for spoilers or anything, but there's this one scene where he takes control of this little girl and he has a limp. So he's chasing this main guy. He's chasing the main guy right here as the little girl, and she's limping, and and then the stuff that she's saying to him as she's chasing him, it's kind of funny. So yeah, Shocker, great horror movie, and then also it's Wes Craven too, Freddy Krueger. So you can't go wrong with Shocker. And then up next, I'm pretty sure everybody knows this one, the Saw franchise. I have the other two somewhere. I don't know where they are, but they weren't that good anyway. Honestly, like, my favorites is basically like Saw 1 and 2. 3's okay. And then after that, it was starting to get unbearable. But yeah, I mean, Saw, I don't really need to explain what Saw is, Jigsaw, he traps the people and then gets them to basically sever off one of their limbs or basically mutilate themselves in order to get out of his trap. So I don't really need to explain Saw, but it's a good one to go back and watch for the season, for the Halloween season. So this one, I would say it is a horror movie just because of how the atmosphere was, and that's the first Terminator. Now, I say it's a horror movie because, basically you have Arnold Schwarzenegger as this killer cyborg chasing Sarah Connor and Kyle Reese, through the city trying to kill him. And just the way that they had the movie set up, it really reminds me of a horror flick. It really does. And then, of course, Terminator 2, which is action. But, yeah, I would say this is, my opinion. Everyone else is different. I would say this is a horror movie. So I'm going to check. It's going to be on my list of movies to watch for the 31 days. So yeah, Terminator. Next up is Joyride. And Joyride 2. Joyride, again, I would say it's a horror movie. This trucker's basically stalking these three after they play a prank on him. Joyride 2, it's kind of the same. It was alright. I wouldn't say it's crap. I mainly got this for Joyride 1. It was on sales like in the $5 bin, so I just wanted Joyride. And then I saw Joyride 2, and pretty much same thing as Joyride. Basically, these kids mess with the trucker, and then he stalks them. So, yeah, great horror movie to check out. Now, this one... Well, I'll show it to you. The new Friday the 13th, the remake. Now, this is... it's Jason Voorhees killing people, killing teenagers, just like with all the other Jason movies, but I would basically put this in more of like the soft core porn featuring Jason Voorhees killing them, because through the whole damn movie, I mean, it's a bunch of sex scenes. So I mean, it's kind of funny though how Jason does it, but again, like it's a softcore porn featuring Jason Voorhees. That's what it should be called. Next up is End of Days with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And for anyone who hasn't seen this, it's basically Arnold Schwarzenegger plays a cop, and all this creepy crap is going on because the Antichrist is trying to spread his seed. So Arnold Schwarzenegger gets caught up in the middle and is trying to stop him. So, End of Days, no one really talks about it much, but you should really check it out. It's a great horror movie. Um, it's got that cheesy Schwarzenegger, of course, with his dialogue, especially like in the beginning when Schwarzenegger, he's putting like all this crap into a blender, and his partner comes in and he's looking at him putting all this crap into his blender, and he turns it on, and his partner's looking at him all disgusted, and then Schwarzenegger's like, breakfast. Or, breakfast. I can't do Schwarzenegger. But, yeah, End of Days. Check it out. So, I don't think a lot of people know about it, and if you do, hey, leave it in the description. But I don't think so, because it's not one of his usual movies. His movies are action. So that is I See You with Sylvester Stallone. Now, this is a great horror movie. And again, I don't want to do spoilers. Basically, Sylvester Stallone is a cop, as he as he would play, and this guy that he's chasing, he's a serial killer, and he goes to catch him, but he always gets away. So long story short, like I said, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but Stallone ends up in this Antarctic base, or is it Alaskan base? It is. No, it's Alaskan. Yeah. So he ends up in this Alaskan base, and the serial killer basically tracks him down to mess with him, and then a lot of creepy stuff goes down. So that's all I'm going to say. So yeah, I See You, a great, underrated Sylvester Stallone movie. Highly recommend. Next up is The X-Files, I Want to Believe. So this one, basically, I believe it was made after the show was basically went off the air. So this movie was made, and it's basically Mulder and Scully trying to solve this case, and there's a lot of creepy stuff that go on with it. It's actually been a while since I've seen this, so reading the back, they find a missing woman and try to solve this creepy case that's going on, just like with any other X-Files. It just, honestly, from what I remember, it's just one big, long X-Files show. So, I mean, if you haven't seen X-Files, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's basically they're investigating the unknown, extraterrestrials, and solving all these creepy cases. So, yeah, X-Files. Pretty good. Now, this remake, I would say, was done right. Not like the crappy Friday the 13th remake. That was just, it is what it is. I'm not going to say it was shit, but it wasn't like this remake, and that is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This, holy crap. This one, and then the other one that they made, the one after this, the prequel. I don't know why I never got that one. I'm always seeing it. I'm probably going to pick it up because I always see it cheap. But anyways, this one, it's a real creepy, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You got Leatherface chasing down these teenagers that break down in the middle of Texas, in the middle of nowhere. And then they end up in the house. or no, not end up in the house. Leatherface tracks them down and then kills them and then cuts them up, wears their skin, all that good stuff. Again, I'm not going to give spoilers, but R. Lee Ermey plays in here. So, I mean, yeah, he plays a real creepy part in here if you haven't seen it. So, yeah, this Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, definitely check this out for Halloween. Real good. Oh, and then stay away from those shitty ones that just came out. What was it, the 3D one? And there was no, it was just that 3D one. I don't remember. It was shit, so I didn't bother with it. But yeah, this Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then that prequel. I think it was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning. Those two are good. Those are really good ones. Next up is Tremors, the Attack Pack. So this one has 1 through 4. Again, I saw this at Walmart in the bargain bin for $5. And Tremors, I mean, I would put this in the category of like Gremlins and Killer Clowns from Outer Space because, it's not like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You can, watch this and it's. I would put it as a feel-good horror movie, if that makes any sense. You can watch this with the family. You don't have to worry about like nudity or blood and gore and guts and all that. I mean, it's basically this big giant worm that's underground and is coming up to eat people. But yeah, all of them are PG-13 and just feel good, just a feel good horror movie you can watch with the kiddies. So yeah, Tremors. And again, another one that I would put, Ghostbusters is one I would put in that feel good horror movie slot. It's got that paranormal activity, the the four awesome Ghostbusters, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, Bill Murray, and then Harold Ramis, and then Rick Moranis, of course. So and Sigourney Weaver. So I mean, you can't go wrong with Ghostbusters. Again, another kid-friendly horror movie you can watch with everybody. So if you want to watch something for the 31 Days of Halloween and you want to stay away from like Freddy, Jason, all that, Ghostbusters. I mean, I don't really need to say more. It's Ghostbusters. Next up is Resident Evil Degeneration. Now, this is the animated one with Leon and Claire. Now, this one, they end up in an airport, and just like with any other Resident Evil, game, the zombies, basically an outbreak happens in the terminal of the airport, and then everyone gets infected, and then Claire just happens to be in the middle of it, and then Leon comes in to save the few survivors plus Claire. So yeah, I mean, stay away from those shitty, and I'm going to say shitty, Resident Evil movies. Those are just complete garbage. Don't even waste your time. Get this. If you want a true Resident Evil movie, get the Degeneration. Stay away from those pieces of garbage. Those hot dumpster fires. And especially that newest Resident Evil movie. I saw that for free on Kodi, and I still feel like I got ripped off. That movie was shit. I mean, I didn't think those Resident Evil movies could get any shittier, but watching that movie, I was just like, oh my god, this is. I was at a loss for words how shitty it was. So, I'm pretty lenient when it comes to movies, but when something is that shit, I'm gonna say it. It was shit. I didn't think those Resident Evil movies could get any shittier, but they managed to pull it off, so hey, good job. Good job, what the heck is his name? Anderson, A.S. Anderson, some shit, so good job. You managed to make your Resident Evil franchise even shittier, so again, good job to that. But, a little bit of a rant, so yeah, check out Resident Evil Degeneration. Awesome movie. Next up is Shaun of the Dead. Now this is a comedy horror, which it's pretty cool. And for anyone who hasn't seen it, it's basically Shaun right here, and then his buddy Ed. it takes place in England. So, and this zombie outbreak happens, and then these two just happen to be in the middle of it. But yeah, it's it's an awesome comedy slash horror movie. I mean, a comedy with horror. I mean, comedy with zombies. I mean, you can't go wrong. This is great, and it's not one of those, palm. Well, there are a lot of palm face moments, but this movie is just it's a great one, great comedy horror with zombies. Check it out. Well, I guess no. Let me backtrack. It's not like those shitty straight to DVD horror movies that are supposed to be comedy, like the movies that are like way worse than those Wayans brother movies. There was one that I saw on Netflix. It's supposed to be a parody of Walking Dead, like that shit, complete garbage. So I mean that's what I mean by palm face shitty comedy. I mean it's like what the hell is this? What am I watching? This is garbage. So yeah, that's what I mean by palm face shitty comedy horror movies. Anyways, so next up, Evil Dead 2 with Bruce Campbell. I mean, how can you go wrong with this? Evil Dead 2. I mean, for anyone who hasn't seen, again, this is dark comedy, horror. Shaun of the Dead is dark comedy horror, but it's more comedy. This is more horror with comedy. I mean, Bruce Campbell and his reaction to everything. I mean, you can't go wrong with it. Basically, for anyone who hasn't seen it, Bruce Campbell plays Ash, and he finds this Book of the Dead that brings just all these different creatures, to our world. And with this one, he ends up in the cabin, and then his dead girlfriend's there and everything. So yeah, again, if you haven't seen Evil Dead 2, check it out. Really awesome. Next up is Dawn of the Dead. Again, another zombie movie, as the title suggests, Dawn of the Dead. George Romero, I believe he did make this one. Just give me a second. Yeah. No. Yeah, George A. Romero. Yeah. Well, based on his movie, George Romero. Had to double check, but yeah, great movie. Basically, these survivors wind up in the mall. Meanwhile, all these zombies surround them, and then they're trying to get out of there. So I mean, not really much has to be said. It's a zombie movie, trying to get inside the mall and eat the survivors. So yeah, great one. Next up is the Friday the 13th 5 and 6. So these are the Jason movies you want to stick with, not the hot garbage, soft core porn Jason. Stick with these. I mean, all the Jason movies have had sex in it and everything. It is what it is. But that new one was more softcore porn than these. All the Jason movies have been on, a little bit cheesy, but I mean, how can you go wrong with everyone's favorite hockey mask killer, right? So, A New Beginning and Jason Lives. Basically, A New Beginning is, give me a second. Tommy Jarvis, he goes to this camp because he's all messed up. So he goes to this camp with all these other kids, and then Jason shows up and then kills everybody. And then Jason Lives. I'm trying to remember how Jason Lives shows up. I think Tommy is in this. Is he? I think so. Again, I need to go back and watch these. I was just pulling out a bunch of Blu-ray, so, I know I'll probably get someone in the comments that says, hey, know your shit before you review, but I mean, hey, I'm wanting to do something fun. I'm wanting to talk about some of these horror movies and just share it with you guys. So go easy on me. I mean, if you know what these are, leave it in the comments and be cool about it. Don't be, yeah. Okay, so next up is the original Friday the 13th and then part 2, which of course everyone knows. Friday the 13th, the first one, had Jason's mom killing the counselors, and then part 2 is when Jason does show up, but he doesn't have the hockey mask yet. He has the sack head. So, yeah, again, I mean, not much to really say. Um, Again, everybody's favorite hockey mask serial killer, Friday the 13th. And we have more Friday the 13th. This one is part 3, and then part 4. So, part 3 is when Jason does get the mask. I'm pretty sure he does. Yeah, he does. Part 3 is when he does get the mask, because part 2 he had the sack head, and then 3 he gets the mask. 4, I think, is when he does finally meet Tommy Jarvis, which is played by Corey Feldman as the kid. So yeah, that, I mean, not much else to say. You got Corey Feldman in 4. Or was he in 3? Gotta watch him. But Corey Feldman is in these. So I mean, how can you go wrong with everyone's favorite Goonie in Friday the 13th, right? Alrighty, so next up, and this one I did go back and watch because it's been a while since I actually saw it, and it's because I just saw the new movie. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's It. Just It. That's it. It's It. So the new It movie, I'm gonna kind of touch on this. The new It movie, I liked it. I really liked it. And for me, I'm not a big fan of remakes at all. I hate them in general. There's like very, very slim pickings that I like. This new It, I will put it in my category of I really liked it. They're both different in their own right. The new It, he was mainly a shapeshifter to the kids' fears of what they were afraid of. This one, he's mainly, yeah, I mean, at the end, he becomes that stupid-ass spider, but, hey. In this one, when he interacts with the kids, it's Tim Curry interacting with the kids, which, that's why I can't say one is better than the other, because Tim Curry, he did a damn good job in this movie. Just the way he was just messing with just all the kids, and even as adults. If you had, for anyone who has seen this, I mean, when Billy, as an adult, is going back to Derry, when Bill's going back to Derry, and he stops because he sees someone digging. He sees Pennywise digging, and then of course Tim Curry is messing with him, saying, go ahead and pick one of the graves, except that one at the end. That one's taken. Sorry. And just the way that Tim Curry did it was just freaking hilarious. And then when he was mocking Bill because of his stutter, he's like, "Abba, abba, abba, a Billy boy." I mean, just total awesomeness. And then same thing with Richie as an adult when he goes into the library. Pennywise is he's up on the balcony and he's messing with him. Richie's talking to one of the librarians about when his friend is coming back, and Pennywise is up there talking shit to him. And then he has like a spinner and he's spinning it around and he's just talking a bunch of shit. So I mean, just an awesome movie. Check the original one out. This is a great. I'm not gonna really say it's a horror movie per se, but it's a good thriller. I guess you could say horror, but great movie. If you haven't seen the original, check it out. Next up is the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, like I was saying, basically, with the original, they're pretty much the same except the remake. But yeah, kids traveling cross country in a van. They stop. With this one, they pick up the hitchhiker, which is part of, the bloodthirsty Leatherface family. Sorry. And the kids end up stopping right next to the house, and because they run out of gas. Yeah, they run out of gas, and they go to the house, and then that's where all the fun starts. Leatherface captures them and kills them all. Or maybe there's one left that escapes. Gotta watch it. If you haven't seen the ending to this, I mean, the front cover kind of explains it. I mean, lady face, Leatherface is all I'm saying. Or pretty face, Leatherface. Great movie. Great horror movie. It still holds up after all these years. This movie was made back in, 74. So, I mean, still holds up. Still got that creepy vibe to it. I mean, it's not as gory as the new one, but it still gives you that uneasy, queasy feeling. So if you want that type of feeling, check this out. And I found it at Walmart for $7. So I mean, I know they're gonna be putting it out for Halloween. Next up is, I actually just recently saw this great this is what I was talking about. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Heck yeah. This movie is freaking awesome, alright? This falls under the Ghostbusters and Gremlins, because, I mean, it's not gory. It's not really gory, but, it gives you that feeling. I mean, as adults watching, you know what the heck is going on. And especially, there's a scene where the two, where the guy, I forget their names, the guy and the girl are hiding behind the cotton candy cocoons, and they see this freaking clown come in, and he sticks a straw in one of the cocoons. And you know what the cocoons are. They're people that are wrapped in the cotton candy, and then the clown starts drinking the blood. I mean, of course, the blood looks like fruit punch, but I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, that's pretty shitty, because, I mean, he's basically draining the blood from a person that's in a cocoon. So, I mean, as a little kid watching, they're not really going to think too much of it. I mean, yeah, it shows, like, the face, and they're inside the cotton candy, but as far as the clown drinking it, it doesn't have, like, any hands, like, popped out or any blood or anything. It just shows a clown sticking it into the cotton candy cocoon and then drinking it, and then it's pretty much like fruit punch that he's drinking. So again, a little kid, they're not really gonna get it that much, but of course, as adults watching, kind of have to take a step back and like, oh, that's kind of jacked up. So yeah, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. You gotta watch this for the 31 Days of Halloween. Awesome, awesome movie. Alrighty. So, still got another pile. Next up is 28 Days Later. Now, I don't really hear a lot of people talking about this anymore. I mean, and I guess it's because they haven't made any, I mean, since 28, the 28 weeks later. But this is a really awesome zombie movie. And it's a good take on it. For anyone who's played Left 4 Dead, I mean, this is where it was taken from. It's basically zombies run, or they're not even really considered zombies. They're considered infected. So it's basically infected people running after you, trying to kill you because they're mad. Basically, what the whole premise of this movie is, this virus that came from monkeys. It infects people and it makes them mad. It doesn't turn them into zombies. It turns them just mad, just crazy. Because in 28 Weeks Later, it explains that some of the people have died because they're not eating, because they're just crazy. They're really going out of their minds. They're mad, and that's what it. And they even say it in the movie, like they've gone mad. But yeah, great take on. I mean, people are still gonna say zombie, but they're not really zombies. They're infected. But again, I'll put it in that zombie category. So great zombie movie. Next up is Predator and Arnold Schwarzenegger. So I don't really think I need to explain what Predator is. If you haven't seen it, what the heck are you doing? Stop watching and go check out Predator. I mean, it's with a predator. This thing right here. This alien hybrid humanoid. Alien monster. That's yeah, alien monster. Can't really call him a alien humanoid. I don't know, but I mean, for anyone who hasn't seen it, Arnold Schwarzenegger is basically a commando that winds up in the jungle looking for his lost team members, and because he's wanting to know what the heck is going on, and then along the way he finds out that it's the predator killing them, and then skinning them, taking their skulls as trophies. So I mean, if you haven't seen Predator, go check it out. And I do have this on Blu-ray, but I don't know where it is. Couldn't find it, so I just grabbed this Predator, the DVD one. I do. I mean, I have it's basically the triple pack. It's got the first Predator, the second Predator, and then Predators with Topher Grace. With no, not Topher Grace. Why did I say Topher? I don't. What the heck is his name? He's the guy with the big nose, and he played in the Pianist. I don't remember his name, but it's with that guy. He's good. Adrian Brody. I don't know why I forgot. Adrian Brody. And at first, when I saw that he was playing in it, I'm just like, I don't know. I saw it, and it's a decent Predator movie. And then Lawrence Fishburne plays in it. Does he? Yeah, he does. Lawrence Fishburne plays in it, and he's got kind of a funny part in it. But yeah, that whole Predators movie, it was a good take on seeing more predators around and everything. And then the Predator dogs was pretty cool, and Danny Trejo plays in it. So I mean, it was a decent Predators movie. But yeah, this is the first Predator. Check it out. Up next, my favorite, Seven, with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. Now, this is more of like that suspense horror thriller. Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt are detectives chasing down this serial killer that's killing people in like the seven deadly sin ways. Basically, he kills a fat guy for being a glutton, and then he kills this rich guy for greed. So just he kills them in the seven different deadly sins. And I mean, all I'm gonna say is, what's in the box? What's in the box? If you haven't seen that movie, you're not gonna get the reference. But yeah, check out Seven. Great movie. Up next, here's Johnny, The Shining, with Jack Nicholson. Jack freaking Nicholson. The movie that I believe is what got him the part as the Joker. Because I mean, if you watch the first Batman, the Michael Keaton Batman, you'll see that Jack Nicholson, he kind of like when he becomes the Joker, he brings the crazy Johnny persona to that Joker part, which was just awesome how he did it. But yeah, the frickin' Shining. This movie, I mean, is a classic horror movie. And for anyone who hasn't seen it, again, stop what you're doing, go watch this movie. It's freaking nuts. So, I'll give a brief description. Jack Nicholson is a writer, and he takes his wife and his kid up to this lodge up in the middle of nowhere. And along the way, he starts seeing these visions and hallucinations, and he becomes freaking crazy. And especially when he finally just snaps is when he goes into the bar, and keep in mind, nobody is in this giant hotel except for him, his wife, and his kid. And he thinks that he's seeing these people, and he sees this bartender, and the bartender's telling him to go kill his family. So that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, freaking awesome movie. Go check this out if you have not seen it. This movie, I admit, I have not seen in a while. Actually, I don't. The last time I saw this movie was when I bought it, and it's an alright zombie movie. Look, the best zombie movie of the year. Maybe it was. When did it come out? 2012, really? Huh. But yeah, The Dead. So basically, what this is this Air Force pilot. He crashes. Am I saying that wrong? Let me see. Yeah, he crashes. Yeah, he's an Air Force. He's an Air Force pilot, and he basically crashes in the middle of nowhere, where these people, are infected. And there's not really much to say about it. It's another zombie movie, um, with this Air Force pilot, and then just a few other survivors. Oh, and then yeah, it takes place in Africa because he's flying over the African desert, and then he crashes, and then he meets just the survivors that are fighting these zombies trying to survive. Um, Honestly, not really much to say about it. It was decent. It was a decent zombie movie. Maybe not best zombie movie of the year, but it was still something to check out. So I mean, anyone who wants to see just a different zombie movie, I mean, The Dead. It's a good zombie movie. That's all I'm gonna say. Like I said, not best of the year. Maybe it is. It's just a zombie movie. So I'll go on to the next movie. Frozen. Not the Disney Frozen, this Frozen. And it's funny because if you go to Google this, Frozen, what's going to pop up? The frickin' Disney movie is going to pop up. But yeah, this Frozen movie is basically about these skiers. There's three of them. Yeah, there's three of them, and they're basically up in the mountains, and they're at a ski lodge. So without really giving away any spoilers, they wind up on this ski lift, and they're stuck up there. And the people that are maintaining the ski lodge, they go home, they forget about them, and they shut everything down, and they're stuck up there. And if they try to jump down, then they'll die well, you gotta watch it. But anyway, yeah, if they jump down, they'll die. And they can't. You gotta watch this movie. It's really a fresh take on a horror movie, because I mean, you got three kids that are stuck up in this in this ski lift, and they can't get down, and it's like below zero. So, and they go like 2 days. I think, was it 2 days? I don't remember, but yeah, it's 2 days. And then again, without really any spoilers, these frickin' pack of wolves show up, and they're just waiting there for them. That's all I'm gonna say. Great suspenseful horror movie. Frozen. Check it out. Next up is, again, Friday the 13th, Part 7 and Part 8. The New Blood and Jason Takes Manhattan. Now, I will say with Jason Takes Manhattan, because I recently saw these, and Jason Takes Manhattan, I mean, it's with when Jason does his uppercut, his infamous uppercut, knocks the guy's head off. So that's all I'm gonna say. New Blood. I recently saw Jason Takes Manhattan. New Blood. What was this one? Actually, I don't really remember the New Blood. I mean, it's, again, like I said with the other ones, good. Jason movies. But Jason Takes Manhattan, I mean, that one sticks out because I actually just saw that movie recently. And what can you say? I mean, Jason's uppercut. Enough said. Next up, and it's still in the cellophane, Army of Darkness. So, Screwhead Edition. So, this one, basically, Ash ends up in the Middle Ages where the book is, and little ashes, that's all I'm going to say. But yeah, I mean, Ash ends up in the Middle Ages, and he's trying to get back, and he has to help all the people that are fighting the darkness. So I mean, not really much to say. Ash versus Evil Dead in the Middle Ages. So yeah, great movie. Army of Darkness. Next up is it's a bunch of movies. And that is the classic monsters. Now this one, these are in black and white, so of course we have the classic Dracula, Frankenstein. Oh no, that's the Mummy, I'm sorry. The Mummy, Frankenstein, The Invisible Man, Phantom of the Opera, Wolfman, and then Creature from the Black Lagoon. So this isn't gonna really be everyone's taste because these are black and white movies. But like I said, I'm a huge movie buff, so I have to have this in my collection. I mean, it's the classic monsters, the classic Universal monsters, the frickin' Universal monsters that they took out of Universal Studios. So go figure, right? I was really pissed off when they took that out. I mean, you have the classic Universal monsters that were there for since the damn park opened, and then they took them out. What do they have there? Walking Dead. I mean, Walking Dead's cool and everything, but I mean, you can't forget about what got you started. But it is what it is. So check out the classic monsters. This is the Blu-ray pack, and this $60. But you can find, like right now especially, I mean, why I'm doing this video, you can find the classic, horror movies at Walmart, and they're like $8 a piece, I think, and they come in glow-in-the-dark art. So I mean, if there's a few that you don't want, if you just want Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Mummy, then you'll spend like $30. But I mean, again, if you want to stick to the classics, get them. Coming down to the wire. Alright, so next up is the Aliens movies. Alien 1, Aliens, Alien 3, and then Alien Resurrection. So, of course, my favorites are Alien and Aliens. I think that's how it is with anybody. I would say that they're all horror movies in their own right, but the first Alien, because it's more claustrophobic, I would say that is more of a horror movie than anything. So yeah, check out Aliens. Next up is 28 Weeks Later. So like I was saying before, this is a continuation of 28 Days Later. This one, the virus has been more widespread, and basically the virus has run rampant and it's traveling the world. What I will say about this one is, I mean, like the other one, it's a great zombie movie, even though they're infected. But there's not really much to say except that it's just a continuation with different people, different cast. They're just survivors trying to get out, and then the military is basically wanting to kill everything to make sure that the virus doesn't spread anymore. And then, of course, you have the stragglers that are trying to get out of the city, but the military is trying to wipe everything out. So, I mean, I guess that's what I will say about this one compared to the other one. Which the other one, like, the survivors come across a military outpost, but I mean, they're just survivors. Just a survival military, like, ragtag of military guys that are held out in a base. Or it's not really a base. Well, yeah, it's a base, but this one, the military is more involved. Basically, it's like the UN is involved now. And then it just comes down to them wanting to just wipe everything off the map. It's funny because at the end of this movie, um, it was hinting at a sequel, which we never got. So I mean, we never got 28 months later. But hey, great movie. I wish they would go back and make another one of these. You know, now that The Walking Dead has become as popular as it is, I don't think people will really remember this one because everyone that has seen Walking Dead, they're just used to zombies, the slow moving dumbass zombies, right? But I mean, we need a fresh take on it. 28 months later, the last time this was made was 2007. So it's been a while. It's been 10 years, going on 11. So we're due for a sequel, but probably will never see it. Alrighty. Next up is the triple pack. Now, again, light-hearted horror movies. Goonies, Gremlins, Gremlins 2. And I consider them horror movies, you know, Goonies, you know, the kids go down into the cave to look for One-Eyed Willie's treasure, and then they come across all this creepy stuff, and then at the same time they have the Fratelli gangsters trying to kill them. I mean, again, as a kid, I mean, you're just gonna think of it as, you know, they're just gonna think of it as, you know, oh, the Fratellis are just chasing them. But no, I mean, the freaking Fratellis are trying to kill him. I mean, there's even a scene when um, they pull out their pistols and they're trying to shoot him. So I mean, they're not shooting to wound them; they're shooting to kill him. I mean, as an adult watching it, you know that yeah, these damn Fratellis, they're trying to kill the kids. And Goonies, I mean, Gremlins, again, little monsters running around and everything, um, hurting people, basically trying to kill them. Again, soft-hearted horror movie. You can watch these with anybody. You can watch them anytime, as a matter of fact, because they're just great movies. But I would classify these as horror movies. Oh, and then Gremlins 2, which again, Gremlins 2 isn't really talked about much, and I don't know why. I mean, it's just as good as the original Gremlins. You know, it takes place inside of that big building, the big fancy high tech building where everything is being done. Um, and I mean, in this Gremlins, like we're getting super Gremlins basically. You know, we get the smart Gremlin, the electricity Gremlin, and the girl Gremlin, the spider Gremlin, bat Gremlin, just all that. I mean, awesome movie. I don't know why it's not talked about much. When you think of Gremlins, think of this one, but this one should be talked about more. But yeah, this one, and again, all these movies that I've showed, you know, all these movies that I've showed, you can pick them up for pretty cheap. Especially this one. You can find, I mean, I see this at Target all the time for 13 bucks. So I mean, don't pass on it if you see it. But yeah, I mean, all these movies, except for the Monsters collection, because that's just a whole pile of movies. Um, that besides that one, you can pretty much pick up all these movies for dirt cheap, and especially if you go to like eBay and Amazon, get them for like $5. So last but not least, Resident Evil Damnation. So again, don't watch those shitty ass live action Mila Jovovich movies. Those are shit. Check out the Resident Evil Degeneration and Resident Evil Damnation. This one, I mean, they're two different movies. They're not really continuations. This one, it just focuses on Leon and Ada. They wind up in Europe. basically because of an outbreak that's going on. Basically, these little ragtag, it's basically like a guerrilla warfare thing going on in Europe. The government is trying to take over, and then you have the uprising trying to stop them, and then the uprising comes across the T virus, and then, oh no, in this one, it's more of the virus, the Las Plagas virus that they're introducing in this one, and so Leon goes in there to try and stop it, and then you get all this awesome goodness. You get liquors, you get a tyrant, you get what else is in here? Of course, and then you get the infected Los Plagas victims. But yeah, I mean, not much to really say. It's a Resident Evil movie. Check it out. Definitely, you can pick this up for like $8 again. And again, like I was saying, you can pick all these movies up for cheap because with streaming going on, I mean, there's not really a need for people to buy Blu-rays or DVDs anymore. I mean, heck, you can buy DVDs now for like $4 at Walmart. They have it in like the $3 bin, and then Blu-rays are even cheap now. You can pick those up for like $5 now. And again, it's because of streaming. Streaming is taking over. But my whole thing is that I'd rather have physical copies of these because I mean like that Thaw movie. I haven't seen that on Netflix. I haven't seen it on Hulu. I mean, yeah, you can stream it on one of these, free sites, but eventually, I mean, those are going to be shut down. I mean, yeah, people will always find a way to stream movies, but I would rather have a physical copy because I know it's mine, you know. The thing with Netflix and Hulu, sometimes they lose the licenses for those movies. Like and I'm kicking myself because I haven't picked it up yet. And I've seen it. I'll probably pick it up soon. But Clerks. Clerks is an awesome Kevin Smith movie. And it was on Netflix for a while. Now it's not there anymore. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of movies, Netflix and Hulu will lose the license for them, and then you can't watch them anymore. And the only way is to basically, buy them online. But I mean, stuff happens online all the time. At least I know with my physical movies, I have them, and I can just put it in my Blu-ray player and watch it just anytime I feel like it. I don't have to sign in or have an internet connection or any of that other BS. I can just watch the movies. So this this video went on a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more, I mean, I have tons of movies. I mean, this isn't even a quarter of what I have. So I mean, if you want to see more, like let me know in the comments below if you really liked this video. I wanted to do something different. I'm not going away from figures or anything, heck no. But I wanted to do something different. I wanted to share another passion that I have. If you guys really want to see more of these videos, collection update, whatever videos, let me know, because it'll let me know to make more. If I get like one comment and one like, I mean, I mean, I'm not really gonna do another one. So I want to see a handful of you guys telling me you want more of these, because I enjoy doing this, honestly. But you know what? If you guys want to see me, just go back with figures, hey, I'm more than willing to do that. But if you want to see more, like, if you want to see me branch out and do other videos, because, I mean, I can talk about video games, movies. I mean, that's why I'm on the Action Figure Sanctuary, to talk about everything pop culture, not just toys, movies, games, comic books, everything. So let me know if you guys really enjoyed this, and again, I'll make another one. Because October is pretty much like next week. I did this horror collection, this movie horror collection. If you guys like the losing my voice. If you guys like this, I'll do a video game one, because I got a lot of horror video games that I want to talk about too. So again, let me know in the comments below if you guys want to see more. And with that said, you haven't already, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification so that you know when I make more videos. And as I end my videos, as always, guys, I will see you guys in the next one.